Hurricanes kicked off the ACC last night. Turned into a cardiac Canes moment, everybody. But we picked up a 38-34 victory. This is...
It's the recap show. It's the recap show. Oh, I can't even finish it. My heart's just not, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. It's the recap show.
What do you mean you can't do it? You should do it with conviction and valor.
I have no more conviction left after last night.
You have to be able to win games like that. This team is not going to roll through the ACC. This team, man, I sound awesome.
Yeah, before we get into that.
What?
Because there's a lot to unpack from this game.
So I even took notes. I got a lot of shit to talk about.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is what everyone in the country is going to be talking about today. Let's talk about the first main narrative. Was that a touchdown catch or not to end the game? It was ruled on the field touchdown. I'm not sure how. ACC then came in and said, hold on a second, that ball's moving, took it off the board. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Was not a touchdown. ACC came out with an official statement, said that their Miami player that touched the ball while they were out of bounds immediately negated the play. If you look at it, you see the one little narrative, as soon as he has it for a split second. That's not even a split second. That's slowed down to almost stop motion, right? And at that point, the ball is still moving. He doesn't come down with clear possession. I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's particularly close. It's a good barometer, though, because it just lets you know, it lets us all know if you hate Miami or not. If you legitimately in your heart think that's a catch, you hate Miami. Period. End of story. And where was the outrage last year versus Georgia Tech? Do we forget? Yes, we give Mario monumental crap for that kneel down debacle, but his knee was down.
Mm-hmm.
Our running back's knee was down. We had safety calls that were egregious against Clemson and Florida State. And you want to sit there and tell us that we are the golden goose of the ACC? Get out of here. Get out.
Yeah, I did see that. And I'm with Ro. I mean, I think the part that bothered me is that there's no official there that has a clear sight of that play. So you come in and you rule it a touchdown on the field, which then becomes much more difficult to change, right? Because now you needed indisputable evidence.
Mm-hmm.
The only angle that gave you that, in my opinion, was the head-on view. The ball was never secured. It was always moving. And the Miami player always had a hand in between the ball. They had a hand on it the whole time, just like the Vod Tech player had a hand on it as well. And then he was out of bounds. And look, it does say, the rules do say, it's the Calvin Johnson thing, right? The rules do say, if you catch it and you're in the end zone, you have to come down and maintain possession.
Mm-hmm.
The ball was never possessed fully. So look,
yeah,
Ro's absolutely right. If you hate Miami, that's absolutely a catch.
100%.
But it was clear as day that it wasn't.
For me, I actually thought the Vod Tech receiver made the catch. Actually, it was all the way up in the air. Then as he was coming down, the Miami player got his hand in there. And then at that point, it almost became a simultaneous catch as they're going to the ground. And the ball is then they're jostling and his ass hits at it. Yeah, so for me, I thought I don't know how, bro, seriously, this is that situation, defense, your job is to swat away hands and balls, not try to catch it. There were a lot of Miami hands there, that were trying to catch the ball. Swat the hands away, man. That's all you got to do there.
Their wide receiver was 6'5", and
I know.
They combated it. And that defender was actually not a defender. He was just a defender in a moment, and that was Isaiah Horton.
Yeah.
So that's why you essentially walk away with a situation where, you have a wide receiver back there trying to catch it. Ooh, that's a novel idea. Of course he's trying to catch it. That's all that guy knows how to do is when the ball goes up, try to catch it. So I don't know. Easy barometer. You hate Miami or not? Just watch the play.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch the play. And the only people I've seen the justifications when you're watching it from the front view, you have to go back and look at the view from the back. When you look at the view from the back, it's clear as day that he never maintains position there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the ACC's ruling was simple. A Miami player touched the ball while they were out of bounds, while they were coming. It immediately negated the play. Period. End of story. That's their rule. Okay, now I know that rule. All right, cool. Done. Moving on.
So plenty of other stuff to unpack. It obviously, while they did get the win, it was an 18-point spread. That was not happening early on in the first half. So where do you guys want to start with this one?
Well, there's a lot to talk about on both sides of the ball this week.
So where do you want to start?
Which we haven't had. I'll start with this. This team lives and dies with Cam Ward. And the reason I say that, we know that to an extent. The reason I say that is this. He had 5 total touchdowns last night, right? Leads the country in touchdowns. He got 20 total touchdowns. 5 total touchdowns. He also had 3 turnovers. That's the game. He won the game for you, but he's also the one that put you in the position to have to win the game that way. 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a fumble. It lives and dies with that dude. So we better hope that we're doing more living than dying.
He walked in like a Western, right? He had his spurs. He's got his pistols, right? That gunslinger. And I'll be honest, there was a couple times he's trying to go ahead and whip those bad boys out. And Aunt Bessie over there just took a straightward bullet, because you're going to live and die with a gunslinger. And they weren't particularly good turnovers. They were not.
No.
Inside the red zone. Now, listen, we just make a remarkable play. We make a remarkable play, questionable holding call. And I felt like that was the negative catalyst for the whole kind of debacle. And then the University of Miami were in prime position to run away with the game. And next thing you know, you're in a dogfight until the very, very end. But that interception on the side, terrible. Going in again, Xavier Restrepo. He goes that way, you throw it that way, and next you know, another bad ball. The fumble was loose. Again, gunslinger mentality, but then what does he do later on? Those gunslinger trick shots. He makes a great play, comes out of that, gets that one play to Riley Williams. It's insane. You just got to live and die with the moment, and last night we almost died because the gunslinger got a little too loose. Poor Aunt Bessie. She took one.
Yeah, she did. Can I give props to Riley Williams?
Tight end.
That was a great play by Cam, obviously. Riley Williams is on his ass, gets up off the turf, aware enough to be there for Cam. Like, that's, if you look at that split-second exchange, Riley Williams is on the ground before he isn't, and then is able to pull away from that DB. Right? Great play by him, man.
How about the catch on, was it 3rd or 4th down by X?
4th and 4 by
X.
X.
On the ground. He was on the ground on his back and somehow reached up and just still grabbed the ball.
It's 4th down.
I know.
That was the game.
That was the game.
You had a 2-for-1. Right? It was just like the end of a basketball game. You had a 2-for-1. You had to score a touchdown on both drives, and you had to be able to stop them.
Yeah.
And X, that was the first of them.
Yep.
And that kept it going. Yeah. Well, we haven't got to the. No, this is still offense. We're on offense.
Yeah. And I agree with both you guys. Like, this was his. We saw him make throws we haven't seen him make all year and in the negative. Like, these were just bad decisions, bad throws. I don't know if it was Friday night. I don't know if it was just one of those games. Who knows?
Friday night, dude. We talked about it.
But it was absolutely, compared to the first 4 games, it was a different, just the accuracy wasn't there, the decision making wasn't there, the reads weren't there. It was a struggle. And, he pulled it out because he's Cam, and that's, as you said, you live and die. But, man, it was startling to see some of those decisions in the first 3 quarters.
Well, look, I don't think that the decision was poor to go to X on that wheel. I just think it was the wrong. I mean, that back pylon's wide open.
Right. Well, the throw was wrong, but it was also the wrong read.
He threw it to the front pylon. So, I don't think that decision was poor. I think where he placed it was poor.
It was awful, yes.
I have a really big problem, and I don't particularly know who's doing it, who's at fault. I just can't quite understand the fact that we refuse to run the ball on first down. And I know that a lot of people think, oh, well, that's, let's be aggressive. I get it to an extent, though, because, man, you're 2nd and 10. It's not like you're running swings or you're running, some mesh concepts, which Rona said. I mean, they defended mesh really, really well last night. That's a good defense, by the way. But you're going for chunk plays on first down all night long. And then you're 2nd and 10. And then you're running the ball. And they know you're running the ball. And then you're 3rd and behind the sticks. Like, it was so maddening for me in that, particularly in the first half. And then you come out and they do it again. They run the ball to start the second half and play well. But
yeah, third quarter, they had that drive where Damian had 17 yards up the middle, then 5 yards, and then he went back to passing. Then, honestly, it wasn't until Cam started rushing that, honestly, that's what improved the game rushing stats and average. But before that, dude, the numbers were ass. Like, he absolutely saved that statistical category when you look at it this morning.
Yeah, finished with 165.
Yeah.
To touch on Scoop's point, I talked about poor Aunt Bessie, but, Uncle Todd over there on the other side, you got a gunslinger actually in action, but I think you got gunslinger mentality too. When you give your quarterback so much freedom, and we'll never know this fully, but I do have a guess. When you have that much freedom and RPOs called on the first game and he's taking the shots, Scoop, I think a lot of those times too, we'll go back and watch this as student of the game and pay attention on the OBB account for a lot of those clips coming in the next 2 days. But I think up here he's making that decision. So you got to
disagree with that.
You got to live and die with what the actions are on the field and what the mentality, because they're staying aggressive and it's benefited them through the first part of the season. So now they're still 5-0. They're still touching the right, buttons because they're not necessarily getting burned too much. Those plays are there. They're going to look back. If I only made this play, I don't know. I think we're just going to continuously see shots on first down, shots early. I think this is a pass first offense. Yeah. It is what it is. Passing yards 343, rushing yards 165, and Cam was the majority of it.
Yeah, like for sure. Said. You know what else was there? As opposed to taking the shots? Lanes were there, holes were there. And I don't. They're going to play who they're going to play. I need somebody who can hit that hole faster. Like, I understand the patience. I do. Too much dancing. There's too much dancing getting to that hole. Like, there's lanes there. They may be small, but they're there. And one of y'all alluded to it last night. There's a different number that gets in there, and it just looks different to me. You're going to need that. Like, I don't know. I was a little bit disenchanted by that last night.
I thought RB 2 and 3 outperformed 1 last night.
We're saying, we're touching on it, and we're not going to go really dogpiling on it. But the ROI, this is an ROI year from Mario. You've gotten your ROI and then some from Cam. I don't necessarily think we've gotten it just yet. The season's still relatively early out of RB1. And the only reason why we're saying this is because in terms of big play in University of Miami, it's been brought up numerous times, 20-plus yard plays, 20-plus yard plays. For the most part, that's been in a passing game. And really the 91-yard rush came from Jordan Lyle, and he's a freshman, and that's not RB1. So that is one thing. Now, the statistical totals at the end of the game, again, University of Miami is 500-plus. You're happy with that. They're a pass-first team. Okay, I'm happy with that too in the Mario era. But I just don't see that big play capability, like you said, Scoop, just hit the hole, rattle off that 10, 12, 13, 14, where you want teams. I think last night people are going to borrow what Virginia Tech did. I don't want to say it was a complete blueprint because it's hard. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take this blueprint for 508 yards, and that's what we gave up. However, there were some things there. They got to Cam Ward 3 times on the sack. They did some things now. They confused them, forced a couple turnovers.
Well, look, they dared you to run the ball. So first time we've seen it in the first half, they absolutely dared you to run the football.
And they couldn't.
We weren't very good at it.
Yeah.
So we've been saying they have to pick one. And for some reason, everyone's picking through the first 4 games, we're going to make Cam beat us. And they came out last night and they said, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to make you beat us on the ground. And we did not run the ball well. And just like what'd you say last week, the week before? We can run it until you show me we can't run it. I didn't think that we were in that situation, but they didn't also, again, 1st and 10 every time. It's 2nd and 10.
Yep. So
that also lends to some issues because then you're going to run it. I know you're going to run it, right? You're going to play it. You're going to pass it again. There was comical strings last night of man, I can see this going the wrong way. And it did until it didn't.
And not only that, but bro, the offensive line last night, whether it was running or protecting Cam, I understand we've got some guys down, but bro, it just wasn't like that was what Cam was facing last year at Washington State. Like, dude, he was running all over the place. He was sacked, what, 2 or 3 times? He hadn't been sacked in 3 games, hadn't been touched. All of a sudden, they're all over his ass. Like, it was just not a great performance by the line.
But we said coming in, that Vatek front 7 can get after it. Right? I mean, and their secondary is very good. Caleb Spencer left Miami, went up to Vatek. They're 10th in the country in sacks, 13 sacks on the year coming into the game. They can play. It's not like this isn't.
Listen, I told you I was terrified that this was going to be the team that finished last year, and they just got out to a slow start this year, and we were going to see the real Vatek, and that's what happened. Like, this isn't the Vatek that showed up for Vanderbilt and Rutgers, bro. This is the Vatek that finished off the last season, the last 4 or 5 games of the year last year.
I hate that offense.
Yeah.
We're going to slide over that because I have some choice words too.
How about his cousin? His cousin
he made some ridiculous plays in the grass.
He really did. Yeah.
I mean, 4 or 5 throws when he was
in the NFL, that's a sack.
Correct.
Like that
4 or 5 times.
He doesn't get to throw that ball in the NFL.
That's
so annoying.
My major oomph, basically, that was you kind of stole a little bit of my thunder in the NFL. In the NFL, that offense would have had like 42 yards.
Yeah.
Against
That's
us.
Annoying, bro.
So annoying.
But we weren't able to. They're 70 to 80% of their offense was behind the line of scrimmage.
It originates behind the line of scrimmage. It's unbelievable.
It is the most passive aggressive thing I've ever seen.
It's like watching
in my
Kansas
life.
State.
It is literally the most passive aggressive offense I've ever seen in my life. And University of Miami just so many times were victimized. You want to talk about, staying ahead of the chains early? That was one of the keys to Virginia Tech's success there. Every time on first down, they just chunk off something on the perimeter. Then they would gash off a couple big runs. And for whatever reason, Miami looked tired last night. I mean, USF's tempo didn't necessarily make us. I didn't feel we were that tired. Now, obviously, you're boat racing them, so everything's better when you're winning big. But you go back and look at that play too, where they score a touchdown. I mean, the defensive lineman who tried to get him, he's just laying on the floor. He just surrenders the white flag. He's dead. I was like,
the
wow.
running back averaged almost 8 a carry.
Yeah.
Like he basically did what they were facing 2nd and 3 all night long, man.
141 yards. And he reeled off another big one that they called a hold. I do believe that one was a hold too. But I mean, if he gets that back, he's over 200 yards by himself.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
That's a different kid. It was a different kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is even more ridiculous.
Rootin' Tootin'. That was his name. Tootin'.
One of them. The one that got called back was some
Jalen Lane.
little
Jalen Lane, I think, was the one called back.
Diminutive kid.
Yeah.
He was like 5'6". Kid was gone. I mean, look, defensively,
switch gears.
We're awful on anything anything stretched. We had nothing for it. That little pitch play that set up everything that they run. I mean, literally, that's the cog for everything they run. They ran it at will. They anytime they wanted to, and then you'd run it, and you'd have the backside throw, and then you'd fake that, and you could run up the middle.
We had the Manny Diaz tackling game going on last night. Also,
yeah, it was
Jesus,
tough. Like
bro.
that, the whole thing was really difficult to
watch,
to experience.
Through. Yes,
and that we're not gonna see another offense like that. And look, I don't. That's not a copycat offense, right? That's kind of like Georgia Tech from 10 years ago, right? People aren't just going to run those plays necessarily because that's a system. So, yeah, it'll drive you nuts. Drove me nuts. Drove Roe and we were just wanting to go somewhere else when they were on the field offensively. I don't like passive aggressiveness. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. And I felt like we were being passive aggressive to death out there. Something that showed up last night that we discussed as an issue, as a concern, like our DBs had a rough night last night, right? I mean, one in particular. I mean, it's it's kind of crazy to me. That style of offense then exposes your defensive backs, and the linebackers were invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if they just kept getting sucked up inside and then they hit the perimeter. Roe's going to watch the film. He's going to break that stuff down for you. It's tough for us to see everything that's going on as we sit there and watch it. Defensively, I was fucking annoyed.
No, I agree. Very, 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 very annoying. Defense, you're going to have some things to figure out. Your calling card, you were great on third down defense. They were 9 of 14. If you couldn't get off the field, sometimes you get burnt on a cover zero and they're behind you making a play. I mean, nothing. That their prerogative to throw the ball vertically is just not there. When we say that offense was passive aggressive, I mean, if you did a heat map, they were just trying to attack you left and right and maybe 5 yards. You want to talk about the complete opposite nature of our offense? It's their offense. And I feel like now you have to. Now, this speech was supposed to come one more week from now. You were supposed to win comfortably. Vegas set the line. And essentially, this is when you need to self-scout yourself, throw away everything you think you've been doing right, because somebody's going to go ahead and game plan just right, and you just got to adapt the tendency, right? At the halfway point is a great time to be like, all right, we got to switch. We got to switch. Virginia Tech might have made you do it a week sooner because this is week 6, okay? Your first conference game. I hope that it was going to be a little bit, more of a comfortable win. At one point, it looked like it was going to do that, but now you're getting exposed. I mean, they're defensively. They exposed you a little bit. Now, I know the offense puts you in disadvantageous spots. They did. Cam Ward throws a pick, gets run down all the way, red zone. A lot of sudden starts things. I felt like you were tired last night. That's not – secondary, we told you on the perimeter, gash you with some of these spread runs. It looked like it was inside zone. We'll go back and watch, but you got some holes to fix this week. Now it happens. Is this a Boston College anomaly? Because now that's what we got to hope for, right?
I was thinking I woke up thinking, I think you had your Ed Reed moment last night.
Is it a Boston College? And just
anyway.
And Ed Reed had to make a phenomenal play to put that team on his back and keep that season alive and perfect. That's what Cam Ward had to do with a couple of his plays. So, okay, did he have his Ed Reed moment? Or was Manny Diaz right? Where you're still going to have to win in a dogfight in this conference, and you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Okay,
I think it's fitting that I'm not surprised that the defense had this sort of an effort when from Tuesday through Friday, all we're doing is just praising Lance because of that press conference and that soundbite that he had. Oh, he's great. We love this and that. And then goes out there and his defense has it back. Like, I mean, you could have seen this coming 100 miles away just in terms of the last 20 years of how everything's gone. Like, yeah, that was just the universe saying, hey, settle down there, Cane fans.
Yeah, some press clipping puffery this week.
The reality is Miami needed to score 2 touchdowns with 2 possessions to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
They had to score 2 touchdowns with 2 possessions to win the game. And they drove down the field and scored 2 touchdowns. Look,
we talked about this on the stream last night. Like, any time we have needed him in the offense to respond with a drive this year, they have.
Yeah, I don't believe that we've been like, oh, man, we really needed that. Or this is a must-score drive, and they haven't done it.
Right.
Like the offense is legitimately fantastic. Mm-hmm. And again, we scored 38. Nice pick on that, Toast. I think you had 38 points for the Canes.
I had 45-13, I thought.
Oh, maybe that was you. I had 37 somehow. But yeah, and the 2, and then both his picks were inside the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you could have won this game by 28.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going that way, like real early. It was about to be 21-7 in the first.
Yes.
So, I want to give props to. I think we're just out here giving props today. Look, Arroyo saved that game for you last night because Arroyo chased Spencer down and caught him and saved them, and then they went for the fake field goal and missed it. Like, that was, you were about to be down 17.
We're in the
What an
Paul
awful
Baines
call.
box. Thank you so much. Call Paul, 981-ROOF, 561-305-944. It doesn't matter. But we were in the box last night, and as soon as they faked that field goal, I looked right at Scoop and I said, yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win, because you watch enough football, you realize that holding call was going to be 21-7. They got it was just bad juju, and they had the mojo. And as soon as they did that, they put on the reverse mojo Jojo, because I was like, they're going to lose. You tried to fake that field goal. Now, our boy, Manny Navarro, he said, well, we wouldn't be in this situation if they would have just lined up and kicked the field goal instead of going for the fake. But I'll tell you, when they made that 56-yard bomb, and nobody ever misses against the University of Miami, and if you're an ACC kicker, they had 2 number 17s on the field. Go back, watch.
I saw the photo.
Yeah.
The kicker and the guy on the right side of the line both had 17 on.
Yeah. So referees, you suck. And I don't want to get there, but I mean, it's I don't know what other sports close. I know basketball's terrible, and that's like fast. It's real time. It's faster than the game of football, I believe, at times, because it's constantly going. At least in football, you have some start, stop, and some benefits of replay. It is the worst officiated sport in the world to me. Just some 100%. Of these calls, like you miss that, but then you say this is a holding. It's not even close to a holding. You're calling this a touchdown. You called this a safety. You said his knee's not down. You have replay. The replay doesn't. It picks and chooses when it wants to reverse calls. It is by far the most. It is so bad. It is so bad.
Listen, that's why everyone was so excited last night, because the fact that they reversed that call, that never happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
There was a pass interference flag that was 2,000 too late. I think at some point in the fourth
that was
quarter.
the worst PI I've ever seen in my life. It was really, really. The
guy the official on the play says it's
he's
fine.
Staring right at it, and he's saying incomplete, and he's going. Yes. It was totally fine. Like he's literally telling you nobody touched anybody. And the guy from the back end zone.
Yeah, the back end zone. Throws a flag.
He throws a flag. Over like 60 yards, bro. That thing was cruising.
It's like, come on, bro. And that was a huge first down for them. That was on 3rd down.
OJ Frederic.
Yes.
This kid.
Special.
Is no joke.
No.
He's got all the tools, and that was on him. He didn't even touch the kid, bro. Like, he's awesome.
They got to come up with a better system too. This is twice in 2 consecutive weeks where a judge that's not even close to the play is throwing the flag, while the other ones that are right there watching the play don't. Either come up with a different flag, either that guy's the third, and prioritize who throws the flag. And if those 2 don't, you can't. Period. End of story. Instead of throwing the flag, you go over, you have kind of like, hey, hold up real quick. We're going to talk about something
there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to talk about something, because I know what the conventional wisdom is. As soon as you throw the flag, you look like an idiot if it says there's no flag for pass interference. So come up with something else where it's a little bit, hey, you know what? I threw the orange flag. Means I don't know. Hold on. Let me, Okay. All right. Yeah. Orange flag's not turning into, I don't care. It's just so bad. Or just real time be like, yeah, that's not. Hey, real quick, is that an interception? No, it's not. Don't throw. Okay,
that's what I
do. That within 5 seconds. Yeah, just throw.
The NFL's got that thing now that's correcting calls where they don't even have to review it. They just say, "Hey, yo, bro, that wasn't what you thought it was."
You don't need to go over to a little box and deliberate for 30 minutes. No. It's so stupid. Such an antiquated system. Yeah. Get your calls right, because it's bad. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
So talking about flags. Once again, man, penalties.
Yeah,
like the discipline. You mentioned it in the pregame show. About 111th in flags this year. Like, didn't improve any.
What we had last night,
6 of 59, and that's actually lower than I thought.
It is a little bit, yeah. But the discipline is lacking right now at certain times.
And when they happen, kind of we're backbreaking.
Yeah,
that's the other thing,
worst possible time.
So I think there were 6 at the worst spot, but Virginia Tech had 6 for 40, and we had 6 for 59.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast. So with big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Trust me, I used to work for one. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. Well, with Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about the gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. Seriously, you go to the other ones, you got to have like at least 6 lines or 4 lines. You got to have this package, not this package. Just absolutely all the fine print. You want to just drive yourself crazy, okay? Ryan Reynolds isn't going to pull that with you. Not Mint Mobile. Right now, Get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month. That's it, $15 a month. All you got to do is go to mintmobile.com/orangebowl. That's mintmobile.com/orangebowl. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/orangebowl. $45 upfront payment required. That is the equivalent of $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower than 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
There's another elephant in the room I want to talk about, and that's the can we talk about the Virginia Tech and all these team strategy to go ahead and sit there with cramps?
Oh my God, bro. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that poor kid's walking today for Virginia Tech, because he went down at least 17 times.
And I tell you, that stadium was letting them have it.
Like, bro.
And they don't care, because they're going to use it to their advantage. They're going to absolutely use it to their advantage.
Miami did it once too on a slate substitution when Barron went ahead and just clapped.
But they called timeout though.
But they called
so it didn't matter.
Yes, it didn't matter. But yeah,
and here's the other thing, and I'm just hypothesizing here. We can send people to like the moon. I mean, we're about to send people to Mars. But there's a kid who's cramping on the field, and we don't have any kind of technology. Just wheel a cart to the guy and bring him right off. It's a cramp.
I mean, soccer's got a what do you call it?
Magic spray, the magic cold spray.
Right, but then they got a gurney. They just
gurney,
one of your
gurney
things in the back of your trucks, bro.
Just
put them on there.
You have an interventional.
Drag them off.
You have an interventional neurologist, right? That's on the sideline looking for the signs and symptoms of a concussion. Let me just go ahead and tell you, even though it looks the part sometimes, knowing somebody has a concussion is so much harder than figuring out if somebody has a cramp. I'll say that again. Diagnosing a concussion in real time and keeping that guy out for the remainder of the game is a lot harder than looking at a guy and saying, yeah, that's a cramp. You should be able to go out there on the field, say, that's a cramp. Come get his sorry ass. Go ahead. Let's get the cart, get him off. It's nothing structural. We can test that in like literally 2 seconds. But you got the training staff in it, and we're going to sit here and we're going to milk this and we're going to sit on the field. So I got it fixed. This is what we do. You classify it. If your sorry ass has to sit because it's that bad of a cramp, you're gone for the quarter. It's player safety now, because you might get rhabdo. You're cramping that bad and you have to sit on the ground for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Go that. I'll give you one better though. But if you can man up and take your sorry ass cramp and hobble off, I'll let you come back as soon as you want to. Because that's the differentiation. You're sitting. That's the problem. Not that you're not cramping. I don't get it, but you're a puss. Walk off my field. Let the game continuously go. You're ruining it. You're gaming the system. You suck. But if you're sitting because you're cramping that bag, you're gone for a quarter. Hey, we can't. It's rhabdo. He might have too much lactic acid in his body. If you're gonna pull somebody off for that, he's sitting there. Get the hell out of here. I wish we still had that play.
Where did
right?
Like 7 times. 7 times. Just keep pressing
the opposite. What happens? I think the opposite team's people are able to bring the cart or the gurney out.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're cramping and we know
dump
you're
them on the
cramping
sideline.
because we come out and get you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care if your teammates come and get you. Be like, guys, it's a cramp. Get me off. I don't want to sit. Because if I sit, I'm done for a quarter. You'll change the mentality like this.
It's true. You'll
You'll change it. It gets rid of it tomorrow. I don't care. If he has a cramp, that's good. No, well, it might have been structural. We got to go ahead and come on, guys. Stop. You know within 2 seconds if this is a cramp, if this is not a cramp. And how many dudes, stoic warriors? How many dudes have literally torn out their ACL and those guys are hobbling off on their own power? It's a torn ACL and those guys hobble off. And I'm not saying I want that to happen, but it's a cramp. Come on, stop. It's a cramp. Okay? Or we're going to just put a bunch of Chiquita bananas on the sideline because monkeys never cramps. Never cramps. That's
so,
right.
You got some strong feelings about the whole cramping thing, huh?
Oh, it's just been going on too long. But no, Toast, this is the thing. In a fix-it business, I work in a fix-it business. Just fix it. You know what's going on, and you allow it to happen. It's so stupid.
It was so many times last
It's just so blatant, yeah. I mean, come on.
It's just whatever. It's
one thing if it's a bunch of 50-year-old guys out there cramping. These are 18, 19-year-old guys in the prime of their athletic ability. Like, man, They're dropping like flies because it was 90 degrees.
And listen,
It
no
wasn't even
offense too.
hot. No, it wasn't even hot, dude.
Then if you're not going to do it on the
It's at
medical
night, for
side,
Christ's sake.
then I need you to bring in the Academy Awards. I need you to bring the Academy Awards because then we'll have them be the determining factor whether, no, he's acting. Yeah. Get him off. Get him off. We just watched the replay in real time. The Oscar goes to, because as he's looking at the sideline, and how is that not a penalty? How is the coach not thrown out of the game? If you're literally seeing the kid look at the sideline and go, oh, me now, down, and then he falls, and you allowed that to happen, that's on you, Holmes. Like he looked to the sideline and said, okay, I'm going to drop. It's not an injury. That's just not an injury. My goodness. It's cheating.
Right.
Tell us, Ro.
Yeah. So
Talk
listen,
to
man.
us. Give us your feelings.
So we're 5-0.
This is a safe space.
It's always my safe space, baby.
We're 5-0, 1-0 in the ACC. Listen, say what you will, and you guys can both admit it. The last 5 years, that game last night, we don't win it.
We get blown out, actually.
Yeah, like it's not even close.
Like it's easily a 2-score loss.
Yeah, right. So I mean, so there are, while it wasn't perfect,
Well,
while there were
you've
plenty
got
of
Cam
things to-
Ward.
well, that's the whole thing. So while everything didn't go perfect, the fact that they battled back in the second, listen, they were trailing in halftime for the first time.
Yep, first time of the year.
Trailing that whole second half. They weren't leading until they took the lead with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah,
So they battled back. It was a dental visit, but they battled back and they got
did.
the dub.
A W is a W. I don't need you to go back and break down every W to see how good or bad it was. The reality is there's not a 1 in the loss column, and you take that every single day. Last year we had I don't know how many losses we have. A lot of them, and they were all very, very close losses.
Yes.
So it's it's still a loss. You still lost. So that was a win. And you're going to have those guys. I mean, Vatech's not a bad team. Like they're an ACC foe. And then look, and you think it's going to get any easier? You got to go out to Cal, right? Who can play now? It's going to be a wet that's like going to, I don't know, Timbuktu. It might as well be. I mean, up to the Bay Area, like, holy shit, that's an entirely different existence out there.
10:30 at night.
Yeah, I mean, it's 7:30 their time. Hopefully they get out a day early. And then you've got Louisville, which Toast emphatically picked us to lose. So,
but you lose have a bye after the Cal
that's
game.
true. But these next 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Yeah. Oh, huge.
they're no joke.
That Louisville game on the road is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. We beat Cal 6-0 going to Louisville, and Louisville could be 6-0 as well.
Well, that'll be a prime time game. Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be
So
insane. Yeah.
I think back to last night, and there was a lot of. I mean, Sam Brown with a snag on that laser beam. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good stuff last night.
I will say one thing that was odd, man, was the disappearance of Arroyo after the first quarter. Like, I mean, like he was dominant, 88 yards receiving in the first quarter, and then you just didn't go to him again for basically the rest of the game.
I'm
sure they made adjustments.
I looked at it earlier. I was researching something else just now, but I looked at it earlier. We just had 10 people with catches. That's par for our course every week. Every week. Cam's gonna spread the ball around. He's gonna hit the running backs again, the tight ends, and he's gonna hit the wide receivers. So I was just looking, just curiosity's sake, just 2019 season for LSU. There was a game and nobody's, because I was like, I'm sure there's a lot of games on that season.
Hey, let him go, Toast. Let him go. Let him go. Leave him alone.
They were 23. They beat Auburn 23-20. That was just one of their games that they had. Yeah, at home. Yeah, Auburn Ford came in number 14 in the country, not a bad team, 23-20. So it wasn't like that. I mean, obviously, you guys remember the LSU Alabama game. That was 46-41. They kicked it on a gear, and at the end of the season, and it was fine. But that's LSU at Texas, 45-38
from 19.
No, I was just curious too because
you're going to have these games.
Yeah.
I mean, last week, Georgia beat Kentucky by 13-12 or some stupid shit, right? Like. It happens, man. This isn't Like college football is parity at its finest.
Well, I think this is good for the fan base because we were all getting a little chesty with the first 4 games, with the routes, with the domination. I can admit it, I was getting a little chesty and a little talky with some friends in certain chats and whatnot. And this was a good little humbling moment to remember that, you know what, every single week, any given Saturday or Friday night, it can happen. You got to be ready to go. And ACC is always going to be tougher than the non-conference.
I don't like Friday night games.
I hate Friday night games, bro. Especially because if you were to lose that, your whole weekend is shot to shit now.
I know.
It's shot.
I know. Like now, at least I got a whole weekend to enjoy this.
Right. Because you know the Dolphins won't disappoint you until Monday night. Oh my God. All right. So we got Cal Saturday night, 10:30. So for those of you, thanks for tuning into the live stream, the impromptu live stream last night. All 3 of us are going to do it for the Cal game. So the whole point of that will be to see at what point we're going to take bets as to how long Scoop stays with us before he goes to bed.
Should probably do it by plays.
Right. By plays, not even by quarters, by plays.
No.
Over under is 35 plays.
Yeah, it's about right. It's about right.
This will be good stuff. This will be good.
Hey,
We'll have Jenner's
it's
back.
late,
Which
it's
will be
late,
nice.
man. And I'm going to be a single parent that weekend. I'm going to be tired.
Heavens. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Well, maybe the girls will stay up and watch with you.
Yeah, probably. They'd be on the stream. I tell you what, they could take over for me. They stay up
There
late
you go.
at night.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, we'll hand it off to the next generation.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, last night, look, it was fun. The first half was awful. Like really. And then you saw them do this at the end, and I felt like I was watching Georgia Tech all over again, and it was disheartening. But hey, they got it right. They got a call right. They did.
The Club OBB chat. So we had one of our OG members, Ohio Bob, flew down for the game. So he was tailgating with Jimbo and the guys. And the talk was in the 4th quarter, if we don't pull this out, Bob and Scoop can never go to a game again. Because just jinxed. They're both just jinxed, apparently, because neither one of them can go to a game again. So thank God that worked out so you guys can continue to attend.
Yes, we needed it.
I considered leaving at halftime.
I figured you did. Bro, when you were on the live stream, even though I couldn't hear you, the look on your face at the end of the first half, you were just...
I was annoyed.
A happy person.
No, I was annoyed.
That
Vatek's offense just drove me. Man, I hate that. I hate that offense.
And that was something I felt in my heart of hearts. And I'll go back and I'll watch, but I'm like, if this was trying to be run in the NFL, it'd have like 42 yards. There's no way.
No, the whole in the grass rules got to change. Like, bro, the fact that, I hate that. And he did it 4 times and completed a pass.
Yeah, we did it too, though.
I know
we did.
I know we did. Yes, we did.
So it benefit us. Listen, full disclosure. I left a few minutes into the 4th quarter. I had to get home. I had to try to get as much sleep as I could because I'm heading. And people ask me, and I feel comfortable enough to say it now if you boys would humor me for a little bit. But I'm on my way back down to the University of Miami. There's a master's in business leadership class that I'm going to be a guest speaker for today. Super excited about it. So I had to go home and try to catch as much sleep, which didn't really happen.
I know.
That's the worst thing. You can't fall asleep after a game like that. You're all.
Well, I laid on the
2 to 3
couch.
hours.
I laid on the couch because, as I said, we don't have an upstairs AC. I laid on the couch and I watched the condensed version. Like,
Nice.
I'm like, it's like
why would you do that?
1:45 in the morning. I'm like, I need to stay. I was like, can you turn that off? I'm like, I can't go to sleep.
It was like 2:30 in the morning, and the next thing you know, I pop up at 7, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We should have just recorded the recap show last night. You guys were going to be awake.
yeah,
All good.
yeah.
I know.
All right.
But here we are.
5-0.
5-0. Your Canes, cardiac Canes, Toe said it best. Cardiac Canes at their finest last night. We live and die by Cam Ward.
The campaign continues.
The campaign does continue. I mean, 5 total touchdowns, 350-ish. I don't know the number. Look, 2 bad throws, man. I really 2 bad throws. The rest of the night, he was pretty spectacular.
He was 24, 38, 343, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
One
He also
rushing.
ran for 1.
Yeah. So
five
combined for
total.
five total and 2
He's got
interceptions.
20 total touchdowns, dude.
A couple other balls in harm's way. We're going to be honest. There was more interceptable balls too that didn't make it to the stat sheet than we had seen in the first
Sure.
four. But poor Aunt Betsy. You're going to take some stray bullets with Gunslinger sometimes.
It's going to happen sometimes. Absolutely. All right. So everyone enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy
And
your Sunday. And
now,
your Monday.
student of the game,
Mm-hmm.
student. He's gonna. For those of you who watched that fantastic little version of Rose breakdowns, those will be dropping over the next couple days. Right, a little thrown off here.
Friday. Yep. Correct. Go ahead.
I was going to say the majority of them, as he's told you, are going to be over on the main OBB channel, Orange Bowl Boys on YouTube. So you'll get some preview stuff on the current spot, but everything will be transitioned over there eventually. Please head on over and you can watch this, and then you can catch student of the game after.
You can also watch the replay of the stream to see my live reactions to the touchdowns and the not good moments.
Oh, is that on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Apparently my reactions were quite the hit last night.
Oh, my God.
Because I forgot that I was on camera, bro. And so I'm just like watching the game. And so I was,
Oh, this is going to be. So this goes then on the main YouTube page.
Yeah, so it's up there. If you click on live, you'll see a 4-hour live stream from last night. And you can go ahead.
This is going to be fun. This Saturday is going to be fun.
All right. We have to have a real talk before we go ahead and bring it. No, I got a real talk moment too here. Because, all right, listen.
Go ahead, and then I'm going to go.
The Orange Bowl Boys are trying to go into a new direction in a new era. We don't really want to put the not suitable for work tag like we've notoriously been. Notoriously on your radio dial and for your listening experience and pleasure. But I'm just taking a guess here that those live shows, there is no shot in hell that those things are probably good. How did you do? I haven't watched it.
Of swearing?
Yeah.
Oh, there might have been a couple. I mean, then we were losing the whole second half, bro. Like,
there's
what do you think?
That's one of those ones where like you're gonna have to say, okay, listen, our recap shows, our live shows,
normal shows, no
student
swearing.
a game, yeah.
Live stream, gloves are off.
All bets are off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm fine because there's just no way. Because I would look at you.
It's not suitable for children.
Yeah, we need to put an announcement beforehand.
Yes. Not safe for work. 100%. Yes.
So here's my question. How do we do this? And are we watching on TV or are we watching on the stream?
No, so you can't
You're not
have
allowed
any of the audio from the game or visual from the game going on over the stream. So basically, I play a little music bed underneath, and it's just us with our mics open. We're watching the game on our own TV.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. We're all going to be at different timing.
No, we just sync up. By hitting pause, we sync up. We all have YouTube TV. We'll just sync up to make sure we're all within a second of each other, and we'll just watch the game. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, listen, the folks watching at home might be in front of us as well. From what I'm learning, they're tuning into the live stream to then talk to you in the chat after plays happen, like what'd you think of this, that, whatever, and for your reactions to shit.
Okay.
It's entertaining for them.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
because I was sitting there live
nonsense.
and I was seeing everything, and then you were reacting like 10 seconds after.
Well, you were at the game.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're all at least synced up.
We'll all be synced up ourselves, yes. But it's fun. It's,
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to spend 4 hours. But all the guys
I'm just
in the
laughing.
chat
I'm trying to think of when I'm on actual calls. You're going to see it in real time. Like constantly, I turn again. Like, what do we got? I got a fire. Gotta go. Go back.
Are you on Saturday?
I'm technically on today. I'm on a little vacation time, so I could head down to Miami. But this Saturday, Tuesday, no, I'll be off on this Saturday.
Nice. Okay. Good. Beautiful. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this wrapped up so we can get this drop before the games get started. We'll be back with you guys this week for a normal episode, but we're 5-0, baby. Survive in advance.
Yes, sir.
We'll take it. As always, go Canes!
Go! Change.